Good afternoon. It is November 10th, 2025. You're listening to a Little of Column A, Little of Column B, hosted by Will Alimonos and co-hosted by Zach Bishop. How are you doing today, buddy?
What is going on, Will? There are two national nightmares going on in America right now. Of course, one of them, YouTube and Disney. We are over a week in. We're getting closer to 2 weeks, and there is not even close to an agreement to be made. The second national nightmare, maybe not so much of a nightmare for us, but for America, it is the New England Patriots are a good football team. I am ready to say it. You could say all you want about, oh, well, it's not the toughest schedule. It's not this, it's not that. We have two very legitimate wins. Are we elite? Nope, we're not elite, but we are a good football team, and I like saying it.
We're not a good football team. We have wins. I know that sounds stupid, but that's both of those are true. All right, we could not be that good of a football team, and we could have wins. We unfortunately, or very fortunately, have the ACC schedule of college basketball here. We haven't faced anybody.
Oh, settle down.
There's no one.
Settle down.
You're gonna open it with
Settle down.
You're gonna open with the Patriots in the first 10 seconds here.
Of course. We are 8-2. So we've tied the number of wins that we had the past 2 years. I want to peacock a little bit on it. I think we look at it and we know we have, a softer schedule, but there are some legitimate wins on there. And I think if we were to look, line by line at other teams' schedules and pick out exactly, okay, which one of these are against good teams, which one of these are against bad teams, I think our lineup's going to look a little different. We were finally not favored to win in a game, and we went down to Tampa and even made some mistakes, and still we cruised to victory. It was Baker time. We saw it earlier in the year, multiple times. Oh, Tampa's down, fourth quarter. Baker's you're going to use the magic, going to make it happen, and we shut him down multiple times with the defense. I was impressed.
I appreciate your attitude now after the win, but during the moment we were texting, there was a concern. Were we not worried? It felt like a Baker storyline that we've talked about before.
Oh, for sure.
It was lined up. It felt queued up. It was like we gave him too much time.
Red zone turnover at the worst possible time, for sure.
I remember telling you, I think he's going to score quick. It's Baker. He's going to just overdo it. He's going to go for that big play, and we're going to have time when he gets the ball back. Yeah, that didn't happen at all. Instead, it was just going to stress ourselves down to the last second on all of this. I'm with you. It was a big win. All right, it's probably our biggest win of the year. But we're also showing a little bit more respect to Tampa than we want to.
More than the Bills?
I think so.
Interesting. I would have considered. I know we'll get to it with the Bills losing this week, and I still think of them as a scary team. But both wins were on the road, so just curious if maybe you'd forgotten that one, and then that would change your mind. Like, oh wait, that's right, we beat the Bills on the road too.
Well, what I mean, talk to me. What have you done recently? I mean, sure, Buffalo big win a couple weeks ago, and what happened this past week? Who did they lose to this past week?
Somehow they lost to the Dolphins, and it was ugly. Dolphins, it didn't seem like a complete fluke.
It was like lightning strikes, just jumping out early, and the Bills just never saw it again. It was like they gave up this huge lead early, and that was it. It was over. I mean, a lot of teams would have struggled to come back from that lead. It was just more embarrassing that they, one, couldn't score with them, or two, stop them early. It's concerning. So with that, I think there's an argument to be made. Well, while I am still very, very much more intimidated and scared and trusting in the Buffalo playoff chances, I think for the regular season of recent right now, it's a bigger win that we beat Tampa than beating Buffalo.
This is not the easiest comparisons because there's money before the season, everything involved. But right now, the Bills are 9-1 to win the Super Bowl, where Tampa Bay is 30-1 to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know. I guess we are kind of putting Tampa Bay on a pedestal here, but nonetheless, a huge victory. A not such a big victory for my picks this past week, but we're going to make some more this week. Anything you want to gloat about from last week?
I did pick the Patriots to win.
I think that was my bet of the week, too, right? Did I hit that?
That was your bet of the week, so we both win there.
Hey, victory. All right, round of applause for everybody.
You had plus money. You had Pat's money line 125. I was on a rough patch, so I went easier, but I went Rams 194. But both wins.
All right. Well, hopefully we can get some more wins this week. We have a quick turnaround as Thursday the New York Jets will be at the New England Patriots. I'm with you that was a big win. And all right, we put up some points. It's a quick turnaround here, though. I think that only benefits us. The Jets also won this past week. It's a miraculous win against the Cleveland Browns, but nonetheless, are we giving the Jets any chance here of having a win streak?
I mean, have to give them a chance. Have to respect it. But if I'm going to stick with this is a good team, then I have to say I'm confident the Patriots will win. So I'm going to say I'm confident that the Patriots are going to win. I think before the Tampa game, and I've mentioned it earlier in the year, especially when we've been playing a bunch of these softer teams, is you still do have to beat them. And if you're not a good team, you get tripped up. And we've been good about not getting tripped up. This is a spot, short, but we're a good team. We're going to win. Drake Maye is now tied in the odds to win MVP. I'm a little concerned that he is not consistent. There's still some huge mistakes like the one yesterday that happened. But on the flip side, we just have these monster plays. I think we scored 3 touchdowns that were 40 plus points. And then there was one pass that wasn't a touchdown, but Drake just finds these guys way down the field and just makes it look easy.
The big plays are so fun to watch, and they're happening on a consistent basis that other teams are truly preparing for it and unable to stop it. I mean, at this point, do you not think there's something you could try to take away from the Patriots? I don't know how you do it. It's a different guy every week. We're spreading it out, but they're huge plays. They're just huge highlights.
Huge plays. It's not unusual for Drake to have a 50-yard, whether it's a touchdown or not, but just a 50-yard reception in the air, not you threw a 5-yard out and there was a busted coverage or something and then he runs up. These are dimes that he is throwing and the defender is trying to cover him, but he's throwing it to a spot that only the receiver can get to, and it covers up I think a lot of the other mistakes, and just it's almost like a a fighter. He might not be just kind of working the body, but all of a sudden he's got just these big blows and he's knocking guys out.
All right, I got 2 bets for the New England Patriots. How many do you have?
0.
He didn't do any. I thought for Thursday this was an exciting one. We do the podcast.
Oh no, you're right. I did Patriots Jets under 43.5.
Oh, he took the under. All right.
I think that these games, and I could be getting sucked in, but just seems like the premier games have just kind of all been going under. The Jets did get the win, but both of these teams are going to be on a short week, and our defense I think is getting better and better as the season goes on. So if we are playing Justin Fields, I would like to think that we'd be able to, shut him down, maybe even more than he's already been shut down.
I haven't seen this bet before. Perhaps other people are doing this, and maybe this is a silly thing, and maybe this is not even a real thing, but I was able to find the New England Patriots defense anytime touchdown score plus 450. Plus 450. So, I think that's very exciting against the New York Jets here, against, a whimsical quarterback, I'll say, that if he's going to have to air the ball or if he's going to have to run with it, he may get hit, he may throw it to someone else, and perhaps we get that anytime touchdown. I also think there's a good chance that happens, and it happens pretty early. And with that, I think the New England Patriots minus 3.5 for the first quarter, plus 110, is a pretty safe bet here. I think we can be up by more than 3.5. I think we'll be up by a touchdown. I think we're going to score on the first drive. We get the ball because that's something we're doing, again, that we did so often and so routinely with Tom Brady. Isn't it really nice to come out of the half and just bomb for a 70-yard play touchdown? That's awesome. We used to do that kind of stuff all the time. Very
just
impressed.
Firepower. Just having firepower is awesome.
Very impressed. And the nice thing about this is that, it's a quick turnaround, but at least it's a quick turnaround against the Jets. So if anything, it's a long break before the next one. And I know the schedule's easy, but it's a nice point of the season right now to kind of regroup, kind of rethink some things, maybe think some real strategy, look at some of the stuff that's working and really fine tune some things, because there's still plenty of mistakes that are happening, but unfortunately, not nearly as many mistakes as what the Jets are doing here. So they got no chance on Thursday. It's going to be a rough one on Prime, but at least it'll be us. How many points can we win by? You're going with the under still? You don't think this is going to be we're going to crush this team?
I'm going with the under, but with it being a short week, it's a little more just take care of business. I think we could still cover the spread, but if we just bottle them up, my concern with your Patriots anytime defense is I think you're kind of hoping for a pick six. I mean, last game, Fields only threw 11 times. He's not throwing that much, so I think that just really adds to the difficulty of that. But that's why it's plus money, 4-1.
Yeah, it's gambling. All right, so we both got the Patriots on that one. Next game, where are we going to this next game? This is another early one, right? 9:30 on the East Coast?
That is correct. I believe this one is in Spain.
Well, it'll be the Miami Dolphins versus the Washington Commanders. Unfortunately, the Commanders are just the overachieving team of last year and the underachieving team of this year, which is purely just based on the expectations. What does that mean for next year? Are they What are they supposed to be next year, Zach? Because this isn't going according to plan, and there's definitely some injuries involved this, but is there compounding into something that might actually be better next year, or are we just seeing more of this is going to come?
Commanders are going to pivot and they're going to start tanking. I think that Jaden is done, and I think that Marcus Mariota, it might not even be in all the way tank where they might be trying, but I think that they are not going to be so mad. They're going to start losing games. 3-7 right now. That's a big uphill, and you lose to the Dolphins, and that sets you in a prime position to get a top pick next year.
Miami on the other side had a win, a big win.
Big win.
A big win against a team that you would say would be the Patriots' biggest win. So it's now their biggest win, and a huge loss for the Bills. It's just offense, though, right? Like, what else do they do with this? I guess they did slow down Buffalo a little bit here. They hold them to 13 points. They keep showing up for this guy. Is his job safe in McDaniels?
It sure seems that way. I mean, they got rid of the GM, and we've kind of said for a while, but if they didn't do it after a loss, they're not going to do it after a win. So I'm interested to still see what happens at the end of the year. But this was by far this was the biggest surprise of the week for me. Bills score in the fourth quarter, but it was garbage time. Like, this game was over.
Who's going to win in the international game here?
I am going to go with the Dolphins. I'm going to ride a little bit of this momentum, neutral field, but Marcus Mariota, we've seen it, and there's nothing else they can do. But I think that the Commanders are just too banged up, and like I said, I think they're going to kind of pivot to tanking.
I'm with you. Let's have a win streak here. Miami, who would have thought? All right, next game.
Who would have thought?
Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons. I don't understand what this is. What is this? Is this football? The Carolina Panthers? Is it? They lost to New Orleans? Is this a team we're supposed to take seriously? This is a team that was over 500 last week. That was I can't take them seriously. But this is they're facing the perfect example of the team you can't take seriously, who puts up a pretty good effort. It's a winnable game against the Indianapolis Colts. Takes a little bit of extra time. I don't really believe in that team either. Which one of the phony teams is going to win this week?
I'm just going to go with the Falcons because they're at home. I don't think either of these teams are good. I keep getting tricked. At some point, I'm going to learn my lesson. Like, it took me a long time to learn with the Cardinals, that just because you know these guys from your fantasy team does not mean that they're a good team. But going against the Panthers, I'm going with the Falcons at home.
I think Drake London's good for an anytime touchdown. Plus 140. He was really good the week before, and he kind of tore us up previously to that. I think he's in a little bit of a rhythm while the team's not playing very well. He seems to be getting what he needs, and I don't know what Carolina's going to do about any of that. But, who knows what Carolina team's going to show up? Like, is there what are they? Like, are they still? They're still a terrible team, right? Like, they're a playoff team now, or are they not? As last week, it seemed like there was hope that they, from a process of elimination, were just somehow going to be a playoff team.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it seems crazy. All right, next game: Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Buffalo Bills. Like, it was a battle game against the Patriots. We can give them credit for that. All right, the running game is a little bit better. They got some guys back. I think there's effort that was out there. That wasn't a blowout, and it's a tough one that they were at home last week, and that they're going back on the road to Buffalo, who's coming after a loss. I think this might have been a little bit of a trap game if they kind of blew out Miami, but instead it's complete opposite. So it's all hands on deck for Buffalo. Does Tampa Bay have any chance on the road here, or are they just doomed for a losing streak here?
I think, unfortunately for them, that they're going to hit a losing streak. Bills know they need to get their act together. I wonder if, similar to back in the day, the Patriots go in to play Miami once it kind of gets cold, and it's just somehow not prepared for it, where Tampa Bay is going to be coming up from where it's nice and warm, and Buffalo, that whole area, it's starting to get snow. So I'm going to take the Bills. They're going to kind of right the ship, but I think it's worth noting that they are 2 games behind the Patriots, and the Patriots have the tiebreaker right now.
And you call yourself a homer. You're not even doing it right. I got Tampa Bay plus 220 on the money line. I think they're going to jump out early and do the same thing Miami just did to them. They're going to go up 10-0 immediately in the first quarter. Buffalo's going to panic, have a turnover, trying to make up for all of that, and then it's just going to fall back again. I think Tampa can really come out firing on a team that hasn't really figured out how to stop teams. Buffalo is completely vulnerable on this, and I think Tampa Bay will be just as desperate as this Buffalo team is going to be, but they're not ready for it because they don't have the guns to stop. I like Baker in this one. I think they're going to win.
I like what you did there.
Next game, Houston
Next
Texans
game.
at the Tennessee Titans. I told you I hated this team. I hate watching the hell out of this game. This was an incredible comeback after an embarrassing start. This is by far the worst start of the season for the NFL here, of the Houston Texans. Yet somehow only Jacksonville could give up that lead and give it up to them. I hate this team. I don't want to talk about them anymore. They're playing Tennessee, who didn't have anything to do last week. What else can we say about this matchup?
You don't like the Texans or the Jaguars, but just how do you give up 26 points in one quarter? In one quarter and unanswered, just a complete meltdown. Good for Mills making that happen. Just you can't trust the Jaguars.
Never. I can't. I don't think you can trust Tennessee either, even at home. So despite the nonsense and the recklessness and everything I hate about this team, I'm going to pick Houston this week because they're playing Tennessee and they can't do what Jacksonville did last week, or they'll do exactly what Jacksonville did last week. I don't know what'll happen, but Houston is somehow fortunate enough to play these teams and is going to have another win. Who you got in that one?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Houston just because they're playing the Titans, which is a worse version of the Jaguars, where they might do exactly what they did last week and have to make a crazy comeback, but they could definitely do it against the Titans, even with the Titans coming off a bye.
All right, next one. Chicago Bears at the Minnesota Vikings. Let me ask you this. If you're Minnesota, are we developing JJ or are we just blaming him? What are we doing? Are we a quarterback away from a championship here, or are we having a guy who's played maybe 4 games in his career trying to win a lot of games immediately? What is
I think he can only do so much. He's a rookie. Was injured, so has not even played a bunch of games. Technically a rookie. This is his first year actually playing. Doesn't have that many starts. And I think I warned you last week. I said that the Ravens, they're on their way back. And you kind of pushed back saying, well, even before Lamar got hurt, they're kind of struggling. But I think that they're getting healthy, and I think they're a good team. I think they're well coached. And so I put this much more on the Ravens being good than the Vikings not being good. It's just, you got a rookie quarterback. This was their decision. They got rid of their quarterback from last year, so this is what they're dealing with.
I don't think we should be out on JJ quite yet. I don't think we've seen enough, and I think we just need more time.
I think it would be crazy after seeing some of the flashes that he's had to give up. I think that you got to just manage the expectations. Like last year, as the Vikings, you had a great run, but when you go with the quarterback, it takes a little bit.
I'm not saying he's going to be Drake Maye, but it reminds me a little bit of some of the stuff last year. The only thing that's a little different is I guess Drake's team wasn't that good. Are you arguing that this Minnesota team was good? If he was just good, there's a lot of weird transactions going on here that I think there's this weird expectation for him that he's just never going to surpass. This team is not a Super Bowl bound team with him right now, but that doesn't mean he's a bad quarterback and that this was a bad decision. It's just not adding up for this season. But I'm with you on you could take a lot from the opponent on all this one, especially on the Chicago side. Thank God for Russ. Never a doubt, right? Like they had no chance of winning this game if Dart stays in this game. But thank God Russell Wilson comes in and the Bears suddenly always have a chance. What a miraculous comeback. And never doubt the Bears. Are you going to doubt them this week?
I will be doubting the Bears this week, but to go back to the Giants, Daboll gets fired today. I believe the stat was this year they had lost 4 games on the road where they were leading by 10 points or more. That's bad. That's real bad. I get the injuries that have been happening. If you're a Giants fan, this isn't fun. You didn't have huge expectations, but it's just been way worse with all of the injuries. I get that. Dart with the concussion. I have to imagine he's not going to be playing this week. Hopefully the following week, bringing in some sort of interim coach. I don't really blame Daboll, but when you have this little of success for this many years, it's just that this is what happens. You get pushed to move on. But I agree with you that the Bears should not have won this game. It was a little bit gifted to them at the end, but they were able to go and grab it. At this point, let's say Dart isn't playing. He's got the concussion. Do you go with Russ again after you've seen this, or why are we not giving James a try here?
I don't know why he came in. It felt like they were trying to lose the game the second they put Russ in, and that Russ did everything exactly like they planned. And we are losing our mind while they're like, no, that was the plan. It went perfect. We were winning this game. We shouldn't have won this game. We lost this game. It's over. What are we winning a game for at this point? Scadaboo's out. Neighbors is out. I think you can confirm that those are real guys and that they're going to be really effective and hopefully have really long careers for this team. It's just not going to happen this year. Like ultimately, I know they fired the coach today, but wasn't it the right move to lose? Maybe not in that fashion, but this team is better today because they lost, right?
I think they're in that tanking mode. Yeah, the injuries just killed them, but it just seems in this situation you can lose with Russ and it's a slog, or you could lose with Jameis and it's at least exciting.
I don't think it'll be as exciting. Those receivers aren't out there anymore. There's not Neighbors isn't out there. Look, Russ is done. All right, this is it. We've seen the episode enough times. This is it. All right, this is the finale.
He has to be. I can't imagine anyone's going to pick him up for next year.
Nobody,
even
will.
as a backup.
I don't think they want it. You could see what it is as a backup. It's not as good. I think as like if somebody gets injured and he starts the next game, that's the best case scenario for us. But mid game, I've never seen him come in mid game and this work out.
No.
And not at this age, at least not at this point, or at least not what he's offering out there. I think if you have an entire game plan, an entire week of him with the first string, while it's not great, I think it's a playable backup. Asking him to be the actual backup when he comes in like this, the vibes just change. The whole crowd, you could just feel it. It was just no hope. Immediately just giving up, like, oh, this is happening? Great. That's not a fun feeling. That's not cool. So if you want to not have that feeling, maybe do what you said. Maybe try anything else. Maybe don't play him again. Back to Bears at the Vikings here. I'm going to go with the Vikings. I'm going to stay strong. I'm stuck in this. I don't believe in this Bears thing, and they should have lost last week. There's a lot of games they should have lost, and there's games that maybe Minnesota shouldn't have won either. But I'll just take Minnesota. Who you got?
Yep, I'm also going with the Vikings.
Next game, Green Bay Packers at the New York Giants. Packers playing Monday Night Football tonight. Dart's out of concussion, Dayball's out, and it's just been a rough season for Russ. Not really a whole lot here to talk about for the Giants that we haven't already referenced here. I got the Packers in this one. I don't really need to see much out of them tonight. It's not going to change my mind. I've seen what the Giants are going to be doing, and it's not going to be good for them. Who you got this week?
Yeah, sight unseen. Packers are going to be fine with the cold. Still haven't quite figured out if they're a good team or not. I think we're going to learn a lot tonight if they're able to knock off the Eagles. But if they get blown out by the Eagles, that'll help me make decisions going forward. But for this game, nothing that happens tonight is going to change my mind. Yep, give me the Packers.
Next game, Cincinnati Bengals at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Zach, do I just hate football? Because I hate this team too. I hate the Steelers. I hate what happened here. I have gone against them saying this team's terrible, and they won, and they won, and they won. And finally last week I said, you know what? All right, I give in. They keep winning. I keep telling everyone they're not that great. And here they are. The week I picked them to win, they're not so great. And just egg on my face. Silly me. And now they're going to play a terrible Cincinnati team who I have also doubted and has miraculously made some effective offense out of this Joe Flacco trade in the midseason. Pittsburgh should win this game. I'm going to pick Pittsburgh again. But this is the one where if they don't pull through for me this week, I'm out forever. I'm just going to be out. Like, you're out on Arizona. I'm going to be out on Pittsburgh forever if they blow this week. I got Pittsburgh. Who you got?
Same. I'm going to go Pittsburgh. Cincinnati is still just, they can't stop anybody. Maybe they'll be able to stop this latest iteration of Aaron Rodgers, which last night was just, he was bad. The team was bad. The game just in general was bad. The whole slate for the 4:00 games, it just, you look down, you look up, you look down again, and then all of a sudden, all the games are basically 40-20. It's a 3-score game. So hopefully you're thinking, all right, well, Steelers, Chargers, that should be interesting. Nope, wasn't interesting. It doesn't happen to be very often. I fell asleep in the second half. It was that boring. But I think that the Steelers will be able to beat the Bengals. Something interesting for the Bengals is Joe Burrow. He might be coming back. There's talk of Thanksgiving. So might just give the Bengals just a little bit of hope. I don't think him coming back and trying to make a push, I don't think it's going to work. But as a Bengals fan, I think you could at least get excited, and hopefully he does return and there's a little bit of flash and just kind of get you excited, get some momentum for next year.
Look, Pittsburgh only scored 10 points. And sure, maybe you want to give some credit to the Chargers defense. I don't really want to do that. That's fine. But I've seen Cincinnati score more than 10 points. So Pittsburgh's only going to be putting up 10. And yeah, maybe they can give up a whole lot more, but I've seen Flacco score points. It's not impossible. It's not out of the realm of possibility. This team puts up 21, and it's just enough to win. But all right, I got Pittsburgh as well. Next game, Los Angeles Chargers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. There's nothing that there's no confidence gained from that Pittsburgh victory at all for the Chargers. Like, are you taking them seriously? You take it more seriously than Jacksonville, and that's it. That writes the whole story of this matchup here.
Yep. That is indeed. I cannot believe that they are 7-3, very firmly in the playoffs right now, and I'm taking them this week. But it's only because it's Jacksonville. I want to see them play somebody even a little bit tough.
There was a personal joy in watching that Jacksonville lead just disappear. Especially after I was like, stick it to Houston. Yeah, Houston's terrible. Watch it. Houston's awful. And then it was like, yes, both of these teams are awful. This is excellent. I get to say that all day on the podcast tomorrow, that this team's terrible, that team's terrible. I hate those teams. Seattle Seahawks at the Los Angeles Rams. Seattle's just balling on both sides of the ball right now. Puts up a whole lot of points here. 44 points against Arizona. Rams win as well. I mean, this is a frisky offense. It's a frisky team. I believe a little bit more in Seattle, but somehow the Rams are always in a game, and I feel like they always have a chance. Who you got this week?
I'm going to go with the Rams. Both these teams putting up 40+. Both of them 7-2. I think this is going to be the best game of the week. This is going to be exciting.
I got Seattle. I think they got a little bit more defensive mind and a little bit more defensive tendencies that hopefully will be effective in this game because there's a lot of good offensive minds. All right,
Jackson is awesome. It's definitely a concern.
Next game, San Francisco 49ers at the Arizona Cardinals. A meh game showing for the Niners. And so we benched Kyler, and then it didn't go so well after it went so well while he was injured. And now that he's actually back, it didn't go well. Do we bring him back? I don't understand what the game plan is of all this. Just don't bet on Arizona is the rule you live by? Is that a religion we can subscribe?
I'm going to continue it this week.
I have the Niners as well.
What happens with Kyler Murray? Because you are the guy. You're the franchise quarterback. You have been for a while. Then you get hurt, and so, okay, backup comes in. But now you come back and you're healthy, and they stick with the backup. And it's not like the backup is some kind of unknown quantity that's, setting the world on fire. It's a long time backup in Jacoby. Does Kyler stay with the Cardinals for next year? Is he gone? Is he done? What happens?
He'll get waived. Nobody's going to be able to afford him for trade asset and for contract. He'll get waived and sign a whole new contract with somebody desperate next year. But he's done in Arizona. I don't think he should suit up again.
So you're going to say it's more likely he'll go play baseball than be with Arizona next year. So it'll go on the most unlikely would be Cardinals, baseball, somewhere else.
He'll start for like the Bears next year or something.
Oh, Caleb Williams out.
It's not. I just think that
you heard it. You heard it here first, everybody. Breaking news: Caleb Williams will not be the starter next year for the Bears and could be Kyler Murray.
Bears fans aren't even shocked. They're more shocked that their backup that they've already anointed as the next one, it also fell through. That now they are stuck with Kyler Murray. Next game, Baltimore Ravens at the Cleveland Browns. And the Gabriel to Jerry Jeudy play, but that was nice. I like that. That was a good play. They got no chance. Baltimore's back. They can't blow this one. If Baltimore's taking anything seriously, this is the one they can't blow. Don't blow this one. I got Baltimore. Who you got?
I'm also going Baltimore. This is my lock of the week.
Like it. Next game, Kansas City Chiefs at the Denver Broncos. Bailout Bo. Is he back? Is he still here?
How is this team 8-2?
Continues once again.
How?
Bailout Bo in a 10-7 victory. Jesus, what a bailout.
Ugh.
What a garbage game. What a waste of all of our goddamn time. I hope the Chiefs win by 100. I got the Chiefs. Who you got?
Yes, I'm also going with the Chiefs. We're in November now. It's no more messing around time. The Chiefs are going to get their act together, and the Broncos they got the same record as the Patriots, and these games are just like how do you win with only scoring 10 points?
It's such a bailout. But they win. I can't say anything. Just I hope real talent just says, wow, I can't believe this guy has 8 wins. No fucking way.
Against the Raiders.
Unreal. Next.
Wasn't you grinded this out against another good team. You should be killing the Raiders. Everyone's been killing the Raiders.
The Raiders are essentially tanking at this point too. They're not putting the same effort in as they were weeks ago. So the fact that you are barely beating a team that is essentially trying to lose, it's not good. Next game, Detroit Lions at the Philadelphia Eagles. Are we back? I think we're back. The Lions, we're back, right? We blew out Washington. Washington, they were a good team last year. We take them seriously. I mean, Detroit, we're back, right? So everything's okay.
You're going against Marcus Mariota. No, you're still in the mix. I still think they're a good team, but I'm beginning to wonder if maybe they're not as good as they were the past couple of years, which is kind of crazy because this year they're healthier than they were in the past. So it's a little hard to figure out, but we don't know what's going to happen tonight. But I'm going to go with the Eagles at home. I still think that the Eagles are good, even if they lose to the Packers tonight, which I have picked. I still think that next week at home, I think they're pretty comparable to the Lions. This should be a good game. We should get a good Sunday night game here. But yeah, I'm going to Eagles.
I'm going Philly as well. There's nothing like Detroit's still fine. They're still good. I just think that defensively they're going to have some vulnerabilities that Philly's going to have fun picking apart. So I got Philly as well. All right, last one here. Dallas Cowboys at the Las Vegas Raiders. I want my money back for watching that damn game. That was exhausting. There's no way you make me watch this game again. I'm not watching this. Are you watching this?
I don't believe I'll be able to. This is going to be a Monday night, and it is on ESPN. So, yeah, that's blacked out for me right now.
Me as well. I have no interest in watching this. I've seen enough Raiders football for the entire season. With that being said, I will take the Cowboys because they have an offense and have found a way to score and are at least capable of being highlights of touchdowns because the Raiders just don't do that. I got the Cowboys. Who you got?
Yeah, Cowboys have put up some points. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Cowboys as well.
All right, we'll talk more about the blackout after all of this. But any other bets? We get everything out there already?
Yeah, what was your official bet for this week?
You know what? Let's hope for that turnover here. All right, let's do the Patriots defense anytime touchdown plus 450.
Got it, locked in.
Let's run one back, man. Let's just to the house.
I like it. Let's do it.
All right, college football time. We're getting closer. Teams are getting serious. Our coaches' jobs officially safe. Are we far enough into the season? We'll never know. What can you tell us about college football this week?
I can tell you that it is starting to get cold. We are starting to get some snow games. It is getting very exciting. This week, we had Oregon squeak by Iowa, a low-scoring affair later in the day. And then ACC. This makes a lot more sense than, the basketball, though, the past few years of what's exactly happening. Virginia, Duke, and Louisville all get upset. And no one wants to just grab this conference and just go, hey, I would like to go to the football playoffs. It sure looks like there's no way this is not just going to be a one bid league, and it's got to be frustrating. A little quirk is in the past 12 months, the coach of UConn, that football coach, yes, that UConn, and the football, remember this is football, not basketball, has beat more ACC teams than FSU, Florida State. Yes, that Florida State. So, not good. Not good over there. Coming up this week, we have Notre Dame at Pittsburgh at noon. We have Oklahoma at Alabama at 3:30. And then we're going to have Texas at Georgia at 7:30. There's been, or at least to start the year, was a lot more jokes about Texas and couldn't kind of really get their act together. But the schedule opened up for them a little bit, and they've been playing much better. And this is going to be a real test going against Georgia. They are ranked 11 right now. So if they beat Georgia, they will have gone from kind of maybe not laughing stock, but disappointing season to firmly in the college football playoff.
No, ESPN is really hard on the college football as well. Very hard on all the college sports. It's going to be a rough one. I don't think we're getting it back anytime soon on YouTube TV here. I think that's kind of locked in here. But did you already tell there are games to watch this week as well, right? We got them all, and we're going to do college basketball as well right now. A couple of things we can go with. We go in a lot of directions here in college basketball. My Michigan State, we won. We beat Arkansas. Apparently, Kevin Palm did not respect that victory because prior to that, I believe we were higher ranked, and prior to that, Arkansas was lower ranked. And yet, despite beating them, we went down and they went up in the rankings. I don't know how math works, apparently, Zach, but that team doesn't add up very well. But I'll take the victory, and I'm bringing it up on the podcast. My big takeaway from the week, I know you went to some games, so I'll let you have some shine on all this, but the Arizona victory over Kansas on kind of opening night here. Was it Koa Pete? Is that how we're saying that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm impressed. You've got my attention. I want to see more. All right, I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought the team was too young. I thought it was a typical Arizona team. I was like, yeah, I bet there's talent here, but they won't stay around long enough or develop long enough to really be effective. But on day one here, I don't know. Maybe I'm taking it a little bit more seriously. Certainly got my attention. What got your attention? You were in person. You saw some real games here. What'd you see this week?
I did see some real games. The networks and them they can't get to get together. So you suggested it, and I took advantage of it and said, oh well, if I can't watch on TV, I'll go in person. So there was one planned game and there was one surprise game. So I did go to Raleigh, North Carolina. Flew down on Friday. And I kind of wasn't paying attention with the season just starting. I was looking for football games a couple weeks before, not even thinking, hey, there might be actual college basketball on campuses. So I went into the Lions Den for myself. I went to the Dean Dome and saw UNC play Kansas, two ranked matchups right to start the year, and it was fun. It was a bunch of fun. I really wanted to poo-poo the arena. There's always joke about the the wine and cheese crowd, but that place was on a Friday night, 7:00 start, was absolutely locked in. Or maybe 7:30 start, but they were locked in. They were having a good time. Weather was nice. I knew that the place was big. Capacity is bigger than Madison Square Garden. It's older, so they don't have the boxes and everything. So it didn't feel as big, but sometimes feel isn't exactly how it is. So that was very cool. And then the main event was the next day. Went to Cameron Indoor for my first Duke game down there. Totally different experience. It's much more fun to see that colored blue walking around. But that was a 1:30 game against Western Carolina, and as expected, blew them out. But was very cool to be in Cameron Indoor. You see it on TV, you hear all the stories, everything like that, and the game, pageantry, everything did not disappoint. I really like this team. Probably not a surprise to anybody, but how Boozer, the first game going against Texas, doesn't score in the first half, comes out, really shows up. Isaiah Evans looks very good, and just both games, even when we were up 30 points this past game, you guys are still diving on the floor, really trying to get after it, trying to get the win. But yeah, Cameron was cool. The concourses are tiny. The alleyways to get in, you could tell it was built 100 years ago. But glad that I went. And for your concern about Ken Pom, you try to distance yourself from the nerds. Maybe just focus on the AP poll, because in the AP poll you went up 5 spots and they dropped 7 spots. So maybe that's just what you focus on.
I never really loved the AP poll, if I'm being honest. I think that's maybe the AP poll reflects a decent landscape of how the season's going. I don't think it reflects the actual best teams. So like there's 2 representations. I understand what it is, but it's more of like one where we're at this point in the season. The other one I think is measuring the actual effectiveness of this team and the potential it could be. So I don't know. Maybe there's just a bright side of that we're getting some respect here. It was a good win though, right? I didn't hear anything.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. It was a good win.
Oh no, definitely no. Doing that Saturday night. And Arkansas SEC is going to be good. You were already making fun of the ACC, unrelated stray shots, but we are 1 week in. Should the SEC be panicking? I'm seeing a lot of losses.
I'm not panicked by it. I told you it was going to be a lower floor, but one of the cream of the crop is going to be still pretty good for the SEC. And I think we're going to see them in MSG on Tuesday in person, which is going to be quite the event. Ken Pom's got Kentucky at number 1. I'm pretty impressed. I think there's a new depth with Kentucky, and if they're going to start off hot like this, they're going to just get better. And I think that's something to just have on your radar. I'm a little out on Florida though. I think I could have told you that. I was a little lower on them, but give them time. What I would say is the most impressive thing I saw out of the SEC was Alabama winning a game on defense against St. John's. Legit defensive plays to shut them out at the end here. They just couldn't even get the ball over half court. Just took it away. Just took the ball away. An Alabama team, not on offense, defense. In basketball,
on the road at MSG. Yeah, that was one of the biggest wins. I could put it in between. I think I'm gonna have to say that. Yeah, the Alabama win is I'm more joking about the SEC being concerned after 1 week, but yeah, I think that was the biggest win, and then maybe then I'm not sure between your win or not Arkansas, Arizona, and then those teams of who exactly belongs at the top.
Well, if this Alabama team is going to play defense and shut games out like that, that's something I don't think they really had much interest or capabilities of doing last year. So having the same offensive firepower
and still scored over 100 points, so it's hard to do both.
Just pointing out, all right, this team could never play defense like that for some minutes put together.
Always a problem.
they're going to be a threat. They're going to be onto something. All right, we got some games on our radar this week. What are we looking for?
We sure do. I got a little something almost every day. Tomorrow is going to be a real big one down in Kentucky. It's Kentucky at Louisville, and Louisville has been bad for a while. They were able to kind of be not terrible last year, but they've made their changes. They got the new coach. They are a threat to be reckoned with. This is more of a geographical rivalry than an actual back and forth because Kentucky has owned this for a while. But Louisville, they've been having to kind of keep this to themselves for a while. But this year they're good, so they're flaunting it. I have definitely seen some trash talk happening online, and I think that it's fun. I think it's good for the rivalry. So yeah, that is going to be tomorrow. I'm interested in that. On Thursday, we have Purdue at Alabama. Purdue didn't exactly handle Oakland, so they got jumped by Houston in the AP poll. So they just without a loss, which is kind of unusual, dropped from 1 to 2. On Friday, it's going to be a late one, but we have Arizona at UCLA. Be interested to see if Arizona can continue, the hot start to their season. Saturday, BYU at UConn. For some reason, this game is at the TD Garden. Don't really get that, but that's what's happening there. And on Sunday, Houston at Auburn. So Auburn has their new coach. Going to have a real test, and we'll see that Houston defense, how well it travels this year.
I like it. I'm excited for college basketball. Has not disappointed. Crowds are alive.
They sure are.
On to NBA. Plenty to talk about there. We're into the season right now. We both said we wanted to do a little bit of an organized NBA thing here. We're going to do a big surprise and a small surprise. I'm not sure what scales we're doing it at all, so I'll let you go first with whatever surprise you want to surprise me with.
I'll start with the small surprise. It's the Suns. The Suns are 5-5. They trade away Durant. They got Jalen back, and he's been hurt until recently, so I haven't even really been able to use him. And it's early; it's only 10 games in, but kind of thought that they were going to be towards the bottom and could kind of still head that way. But they've just had so much expectations the past couple of years with Beal getting traded in and these big swings for big names. And it's almost like maybe it's helping that you got rid of them last year. It did not seem like it was much fun, and you're going with a little, lesser known guys and maybe flying a little more under the radar. So yeah, that's my small surprise so far is that, the Suns, if the season were to end right now, they would be 9th. They'd be in the play-in game. I have to play against the Grizzlies, but they're ahead of a lot of other teams that I don't think I would have picked ahead of them at the start of the year.
That's a good one, especially when you reflect what's going on with the Clippers right now, which was not on either of my surprises, but it is not going well. They're in grim times for the Clippers beyond off the court issues. Officially, the on the court issues they're not very good. That's very, very concerning, but not necessarily surprising. All right, my small surprise is the Orlando Magic still can't shoot. It's only surprising that we already knew it. And that there was like, no, over time they can fix this because there are moments in time where they've kind of fixed it, but they're just not a threat. I don't buy in the offense of this. And even with Bane, which is definitely an improvement on the shooting, and Caldwell Pope fell short last year, so like there's a million things you can kind of point to, but I'm just a little surprised that this team still can't shoot, and it has kind of addressed the shooting over the last couple of seasons, and they still can't shoot. What does this team need to do to be able to add some shooters?
You say that, and that seems like a great idea. And as a Michigan State fan, I think you appreciate it more than most that shooting's important. And also, why don't you just bring in shooters? But kind of both teams. But the Magic are in a different spot where they've tried that. They've tried bringing in shooters. Like they brought in, Bruce Brown. I'm blanking on who they brought in last year. They brought in Bane this year.
It was Caldwell Pope.
It was Caldwell Pope. Yeah, thank you. And they shoot worse. So I don't know if it has to do with the offense, or I don't know. It's like when you bring a guy that has spacing, but then when the other teams know this is the only guy that can shoot, so you can give him a little extra attention. Now this above average shooter turns into a below average shooter. So it just, I don't know what the answer is. Franz still seems to not have been able to find his shot again, and that's a problem. But you are correct that it is a surprise that the moves that they made and it hasn't improved.
To me, this is go back in time before the Celtics won the championship. This is like having Tatum and Brown, and it's like all you got to do is put some like nice pieces around him. And it's like every year they're like, guys, we've nailed it. All right, we've checked the two biggest boxes we can. We've got Franz and we've got Paolo, and if we could just put the guys around them, we're like legit. We're really legit. And it's like every year they've reconstructed and retweaked and made some trades, and they might have even won the trades. The Bulls thing I keep weighing back and forth on. If maybe they should have kept Vucevic. Maybe they got rid of him. I've wavered on that, but it hasn't really resulted in them being anything more than they were on day one. It's crazy to me. I know they're trying to fix this. I'm just so surprised that it still isn't fixed. And I don't know what they're going to try next. Because now at this point, this is the pot stirring a little bit of like, well, can you win with Franz and Paolo? Like, are we at that point now where is that conversation fair?
I think if they continue this and they don't finish over 500 and they're in the play-in game, I think that those rumblings are going to get louder, especially when they just made a pretty significant move to get Bane in there.
And who has played, and I don't think played terribly either. It's just, it doesn't, they're not better. I don't know how they're not better. Ian Suggs has played too.
Suggs is back. I mean, he is still doesn't seem like all the way healthy, but that's kind of might be who he is and just the kind of the style that he plays. But it wasn't like last year where he was hurt, so he was just out. It's like you brought some other guys in where you would have thought last year, you're having some trouble with shooting, but you don't have all of your guys. But now you have the full complement, and it's not working, so you got to figure this out.
Was this your big surprise?
No, the Suns were my little surprise.
What was your big surprise?
My big surprise. Detroit Pistons. Detroit is number one in the East right now, and I like what they're doing. Cade has looked amazing. I think that Tobias Harris has actually been hurt like the past few games, and they're still cruising. So once they get him back, I think it's going to be helpful. They were competitive last year. They really took the the Knicks right to the brink. There was some possible missed calls, depending on kind of what side you're on, and I think they really they really pushed the Knicks more than I think people expected. They just lost Malik Beasley because of the gambling scandal. And it just really hasn't slowed them down that much. I like the Thompson, the other twin, Osser. He's been playing well, as you can imagine. It's pretty similar to his brother. They're twins, but is contributing on offense and just a lockdown defender. And I think that they'll probably come a little more down to earth. But to have this run to start, it's a great run for them. Pistons have been bad for a long time.
Biggest surprise with them is that it's similar to last year where they're in a lot of games. It's just that they are closing out a lot of these close games. I feel really good with them in a close game now versus the past years. It was like, wow, look at Detroit. They're just forcing a game out of everyone every game. And here now they're actually winning some of those. I like what they're doing. They seem in control. They seem to have a lot of things figured out. They have a lot more depth coming their way. And it's just a very vulnerable East that's probably not as young as them and probably not playing as hard as them. So I had them as a surprise as well.
If you look at their schedule, all of this is all 10 games in, but it just hasn't been a weird schedule quirk where it's all cupcakes. There's some in there. It's a mix, but I've been impressed. Yeah, especially was it yesterday or the day before when they were playing at the Sixers, just a close game, and like you said, just like that last little gear. It's almost like what the Celtics are missing now is that last little gear of when it's close down the end, just knowing exactly what to do, getting it to the right guys and closing the game out. And I think they're starting to find out how to do that. And that kind of what takes you from young and promising to, hey, we're legit good.
Very impressive. I had them as one of my big surprise options. Now, I did have an alternative because I thought there was a chance we might have the same here. So my alternative big surprise here is that the Lakers are winning without LeBron James. And I only say that not as like I think LeBron is supposed to be this massive contributor to this team. It's more of that what they're paying him is a massive chunk of the cap, and they're fine without him. And I don't know what that means. He could still add, and I think he could still play. I'm just saying that there's a huge part of this cap that is being sent to him that doesn't seem entirely necessary, Zach. And that's a big surprise to me. I just thought you wouldn't be able to
piece $2 million for Bronny.
No,
is that where you draw the line?
I just thought they wouldn't physically be able to put together a roster that is even remotely competitive. And here they're winning games. They won a game without Reeves, without Luka, and without LeBron. I just don't know how that's possible when you're paying LeBron as much money as you're paying him. And you kind of had to. And I'm not saying he's not deserving of it. It just seems crazy to me that the remaining cap space is somehow a winning roster right now.
Okay, so question for you. Let's say LeBron's out for about half the year. Comes back before, the All-Star break, but let's say it's mid-January. He comes back. Lakers do okay. They lose in the second round. Do they sign him back, or does Luka assert his, hey, I'm the guy now, and exactly what you just said of, hey, you're paying this guy 50 plus million. Can we get somebody else in his spot? Maybe you're not paying 50, maybe you're paying something a little smaller, but for a guy that's younger and you think can make more of an impact.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we've reached that point. I didn't think we would reach that point. Now I haven't seen him play. We could still see, like, I rarely see LeBron and be like, yeah, he's shot. I've never seen LeBron really look toast. I don't know until I see that. I think that, but they're winning without him right now. So, like, regardless, I guess it's still working, and that is surprising to me. And I don't know what the next steps would be, because all that sounds super complicated. It doesn't sound like the easiest thing you could just do overnight anyways. But for right now, they have some breathing room because this is working, and it shouldn't be working, right? Like, if you were missing, they're missing, like, we're missing Tatum. Like, imagine, like, there's a max guy missing on this roster, and yet they're still winning.
And Luka was even hurt for a stretch.
For sure. For sure. All right. Any other NBA surprises?
Nope. Those are the surprises I got for this week.
Are you surprised that Disney and YouTube TV have not made a deal yet?
I don't really know what to expect. I'm trying to remember in the past. It seems like this has always been a threat and then gets resolved. But all the headlines that I'm hearing is they're diligently working on it, but nothing good is happening. Both sides are still doing if the other guy would just be cool about this and just pay us what we're worth, then we'll take care of it. I know YouTube TV came out today, gave the $20 credit. You showed me the email. I was surprised it just pointed you right to ESPN. I'm hearing from people that have made the switch to ESPN that the app is not the best, which we've been concerned about. It's every day it gets a little more and more frustrating, where last weekend, actually the past 2 weekends I've been traveling, where this weekend I will not. So there's much more sitting in front of the TV. I've already done the look on my phone for a game I'm looking to watch and go, oh, okay, cool. This is on at 7:30. Then go at 7:30, go to YouTube, go to look for it. Oh, that's weird. Then go to search for it and then get reminded, oh, this is on one of the ESPN networks. So I don't have this. And it's just more and more, as now there's more and more college games. Majority of the premier college games, especially during the week, are on ESPN. So we're missing out on those. We're missing out on the NBA games. We're missing out on Monday Night Football. And I appreciate what YouTube TV is trying to do, and I get that they're in a negotiation, but it just seems like you're going to raise the price. Just raise the price. That way I can pay for it and we could be on our way, and then I can watch sports.
They're not suffering. Neither of these companies. We're the only one suffering. The customer's the only one facing consequences here. They all know this deal's inevitably going to come. Disney's just stealing as many subscribers as they possibly can, getting as many new signups as they can. So at the end of the year, they could say, look at how many signups we had on the new thing in November and then lead into the next year and help the stock go, blah, 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 all of that. But the thing is, the second this deal gets done, and YouTube knows this, and Disney knows this, they're all going to go back to YouTube TV, and we're all going to pay the 20, 10, 15, whatever dollar increase it's going to be, and we're going to come back and do it because it's a superior service. So this is just a standoff to get Disney to fake as many people to come over and hope that they don't cancel, because that's the real moneymaker in subscriptions, is hopefully they forget to not cancel and we just rack up this until that credit card expires. It's a disappointing situation that we have no power in. There's nothing we can say. There's no complaining we can do. That you could cancel, swing, change, do whatever you want. There's not going to be a damn difference. Everybody knows this is inevitably going to happen. It's just a matter of when, and it doesn't matter how much we
when
suffer.
And how much.
Yep, and we're just going to pay more on it.
When and how much. And you found a solution where you found that the ESPN games will be shown on League Pass the next day. So you don't pay for League Pass. So another thing that you're paying for, which is not ideal, but okay, here's a solution. I've had all sorts of people go, oh, well, why don't you just, find it online? And it's like, okay, yep, that is an option, but they trying to do this the right way and trying to have something and having a service that works. So then you do these other services that is not as easy, as well as YouTube TV has all the recordings. So there are certain things that I don't watch live that I watch recorded that now is I'm not able to. I'm hoping once they turn it back on that everything gets back loaded back up, but I'm not sure if that's the case. Where last week there was not F1, this week there was F1, and I wasn't able to watch. I could have watched it live somehow. I'm sure figured it out, but I wasn't able to record it because it's expired right now on YouTube TV is what they're calling it. So the frustration continues. I kind of joked about it at the beginning. It's a very first world problem to complain about. But as we are in the time where I'm watching the most sports, now that college basketball has started, it's pretty frustrating to not be able to use the quad box to watch what I want to watch.
I don't think it's going to happen this month. I think we're going to go till December. I think like around the first week of December is when this will get resolved. So I think we're still got a whole month out.
Is there anything we can do?
There's nothing. I just told you there's nothing we can do. No one is hurting that much. Disney's losing $5 million, but they're fine because they know they're getting the new subscribers.
The Monday Night Football was down 20%, and that was with the Cowboys playing. I'm interested to see what the drop's going to be this week. ESPN tried to come out and they compared it to the same week last year and saying it was up 6% or something. I don't know what it was. And then somebody else said, hey, come on, look at this. Look at what it was last week to this week.
That might have happened even if they were still on YouTube TV, that could have happened. There could have been a drop because people are just not watching. I'm just saying it could have happened anyways. What they're still going to spin off and say is, look how many new subscribers we have for the newly acquired FUBU, for the new Hulu live service, and for the new Sling Thing partnership, of which we're robbing them to get them to pay the price that everyone else wants to pay. It's all just to print their own damn money. It doesn't matter. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do.
It just feels like we're going to get forced into each place is just going to have their own app. So it won't have something like YouTube TV where it'll have a little bit of everything. It's okay. These games are on ESPN. You got to open the ESPN app. That's the only way you can get it. Like it's all going to be siloed individually. If something's on TNT, you're not going to be able to use the same service as something else. You're going to have to go to the TNT service, and you're going to have 20 plus apps on your TV and on your phone, so you can watch each individual thing. And I just don't think that channel flipping back and forth is going to happen nearly as much. And that's probably what they want.
Well, this is far from ESPN's only controversy of the week here, but beyond the solitaire promotion nonsense. And
yeah, did you look into that? I didn't quite understand it. I've just, it's been peripheral and it hasn't grabbed me enough to actually find out what it is.
Well, I guess it kind of resorts back to McAfee rightfully and I think agreeingly calling out all the ESPN heads for reading the...
Yeah, McAfee was on our side, which was pretty surprising because he works for ESPN.
Well, he's his show's hired for a time slot. He doesn't... I guess he does. I don't know how to say it. He's a hired hand, though. He doesn't work for them directly. But either way, he was, yes, on our side saying, like, I can't believe the faces of ESPN, the Stephen A. Smiths, the Greenbergs, the Scott Van Pelts are reading... Please go to this website to save ESPN on YouTube TV and blaming YouTube TV as if anyone going to this website is going to make any damn difference. They're just collecting your information. It doesn't resolve anything. It's just ESPN having an excuse to blame someone else and give you like power that you don't actually have. So like I think it starts from that, which was already being called out. And then Stephen A. Smith, I guess, got caught playing solitaire during a taping of something or some point in time. I don't know. And then later he's promoting the solitaire game that is apparently an illegal something or currently being investigated for something. I don't know. So everyone else retracted out. There's not the only person that shared that solitaire thing either. There's other ESPN people.
Because I saw today, Mina came out and said, hey, I thought this was like a regular marketing gig. I didn't realize like there were all these extra things going on with the solitaire game. Like I should have been paying attention. Like this is my fault. My bad. I did not see anybody else. It just a friendly reminder. Anytime you hear one of your favorite personalities read out an ad, very bubbly, like they're getting paid for this. They don't necessarily have it. It's even people, different networks, on the Ringer, whoever is sponsoring Bill Simmons, like he's going to read that like it's the best thing in the world. It's interesting because I thought he was a Miller Lite guy, but now all of a sudden he's more of a Michelob Ultra guy, and just doesn't seem like you're necessarily all of these things. And probably at some point the mountain's blue because that's what Coors is, and just a healthy reminder, like, hey, this is all money, and they're trying to get you to buy things.
ESPN does not care about you at all. Does not care about your customer at all. Right? This is
No,
the
but
service.
I was pretty surprised. I was pretty surprised that McAfee. I know he's a little newer to this, and he's a little more of of a rebel, but that seemed like a possible situation, and maybe it did happen, and it's just not public. That he got taken aside by some executives saying you are going to fall in line. Does not surprise me that anybody else for ESPN posted that. Where you work for the company, you want the company to be successful, so this is what you do. But I like that McAfee was on our side saying, just get the deal done. Make it happen.
You think people are that silly, though? That, oh, man, Scott Van Pelt told me to go to this website. I got to make the difference. What does that do?
Well, the solution isn't there.
Well, I know that. Why are they treating us as if we have a say in all of this? Like, oh, we get enough guys to go to this website, Look at all the names.
I'm pretty sure if you go to the website, it just tells you where you can get ESPN to go somewhere else.
Yeah, no, it does. Please go sign up with the thing we recently acquired called Fubo TV, and the other thing that we recently acquired, and the other thing that we recently created. Please go to that. Meanwhile, we're the only
go to that.
We're the only network that's still streaming in 720. We're the only network still in 720. Everyone else has moved on to 1080p. We're the only one still doing 720 for all this. ESPN Bet is done. They're going to be a new partnership with this whole thing on here. Are you familiar with their tape delay on this ESPN broadcast, in that they've been using commercial breaks to buffer the streaming so that when you're watching the game, it doesn't buffer during the game? The problem with all this is that over time, if you're constantly buffering during commercial breaks, you fall farther and farther back behind. And even if it doesn't need to buffer during a commercial break, it doesn't snap back to current time. How are they allowed to advertise gambling on all this on a game you can't even see live on their own service?
I did not hear about that portion of it. That doesn't concern me as much as some of the other things, just because the gambling is always going to be the fastest. That's going to be the in arena. They have to do that to be the fastest. It's not fun to be farther behind. I think it's annoying enough that the streaming is delayed more than just regular cable is. But I think that's just something you have to deal with. It is never going to be as fast as the just not analog exactly, but just the the box scores that the gambling service have to do, because it is literally their job to be faster.
All right, I ask you this. Obviously, Vegas is setting the lines. All these books are setting the lines. I assume they are watching a master stream. I'm telling you, that's what the next stream needs to be. It needs to be a gambling stream. The one that advertises the latest, the livest, the closest to the live action you could possibly get. That's the next thing that needs to be advertised for all this. I think we're past it's buffering, it doesn't load too much. All of our internets have improved enough, I think, to the point where that isn't really an issue anymore. Give it to us as close as you can to live, because that's going to give you the edge if you're betting. I mean, you want a live bet?
Don't they have to have a delay on it anyway for cursing or a fan shrieking or something?
You're right, Zach. You do. But these delays I'm talking ESPN can range from what a normal would be 3.5, 2.5 to 5 minutes to 15 minutes behind. Have you ever finished an ESPN game and it's been your final score on your text on your phone came in and it was 10 minutes ago? Has that ever happened?
Not in a long time.
But it has happened.
A long time, like a decade ago.
No, I don't think that far back. It has happened. It
has maybe not that far. It was pre-COVID. It was pre-COVID for sure.
If you were to watch that game streaming and a game cable connected on ESPN, they would be delayed. It would be a very big difference. And that's what their new. That's the new platform. Sure. That's what their new platform
for
too.
Sure. Yeah. So I don't know. I maybe it is more on purpose. I just assumed it was more of a technical situation, both from their end and from the internet's end.
It's not good. It's not good. But you know what is good? Remember to subscribe.
But what do you think about ESPN Bet falling apart?
I'm not shocked by it at all.
So they partnered with Penn Entertainment. Penn Entertainment previously was partnered with Barstool, and Barstool and them after a little bit said, "Hey, you know what? This isn't working. This just doesn't make sense." So they split off. Then pretty quickly, Penn pairs with ESPN. Barstool pairs with DraftKings, so it's not their own betting, but that's the ads that they read, that that's a partnership. And so it comes out, what was that, Thursday morning, Penn Entertainment and ESPN are splitting ways. They were only 2 or 3 years into a 10-year deal and were not getting the amount of coverage that they were hoping to get. So that falls apart and goes, oh, that's interesting. And then almost an hour later, find out ESPN has partnered with DraftKings. So now I imagine on their bottom line, once I get ESPN and I'm able to see that again, that they're going to have DraftKings, at the bottom. But this is just, so you are negotiating this other major gambling deal where I know you're making a ton of money. Well, I can't watch your service. So it didn't really rub me quite the right way, but it was just an interesting change in the landscape.
I don't want to be the one to judge, all right? I don't have a gambling business. I'm not saying all gambling businesses are easily run. I'm sure it takes, a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of planning, a lot of coordinating. I'm just shocked that Penn, who's partnered with Barstool and had some success and then thought they would step up their game, stepped up to ESPN, and then it didn't really, I don't think it got any better or bigger. I mean, I don't think ESPN bet was any bigger than what the Penn gambling was before all that. So, I just don't know what it would have taken. It's really what I'm asking for this Penn gambling thing to have worked. I don't think it could work.
You would have had to beat FanDuel and DraftKings. They were just the first movers in this. So it's a lot for someone to change. You have to be significantly better than what's already out there. If you're the same or worse, or maybe even just a little bit better, people aren't even going to move, or they might not even try it. They might not even figure it out.
So what I don't think it matters is what network it's on. I don't think it matters who's promoting it. I don't think it matters if it's any more directly affiliated with ESPN. I think they thought it was feel more official being like ESPN bet and not DraftKings through ESPN like it's going to be now. I don't think anyone fell for that. I think why do they think we're so freaking stupid? Like we're
I don't know.
It's simpler times, I guess. I don't know. It seems bold. I don't think this is going to have. I don't know. I don't think it's going to change anything, though. Like, what is going to change at ESPN that they're not already doing?
Yeah, I don't think so either, because they're going to continue to do the gambling content, which some people like and some people don't like. But I think that probably the majority of people that watched ESPN before were still watching it. If they saw a line, it's just kind of going in that direction. But then they wouldn't use the ESPN service. They were just going to be using FanDuel or DraftKings. It's like, well, I've been using this for, the past few years. So you find out what the line is on ESPN. You hear the ESPN people talk about what side they think you should take, and then you just went to the other service to use it.
Yeah. I think I could live without ESPN beyond the college basketball. The college sports is where it's getting me. That's where it's like I know those games are on there. I know those are the ones I want to watch, and there's a ton of other college options I have, and I could watch those, but it's not those few premier ones. Those matter. Those are the ones you that are great. I can't believe like the games that you just said earlier are playing on midweek tonight and tomorrow night on midweeks, and it's all on ESPN.
The majority, yeah.
All right, we got to get out of here. I want to remind everyone to subscribe, little column A, little column B. You can follow us wherever you get your podcasts, on YouTube, Instagram. You can follow Zach on his X account, which is
WickedZman24.
Zach, we had some anniversary merch that I never really announced, and I don't really have anything to announce, but I made some stuff for us, exclusively for just us, and we have some bags to hand out to some very, very special listeners. But beyond that, I don't know. Should we release it to everyone else, or should we just have it for ourselves?
Maybe right now we just keep it to ourselves, and maybe they're prizes. People got to earn it.
Prizes, earn it. Well, the truth is that our anniversary design got declined on the Amazon merch app, so I'll have to make some adjustments to it to make it something that'll be approved that everyone else could then purchase. But for now, happy 10 years, bud. We got some nice merch for ourselves.
I like it, and I think it is so funny that we're getting denied where you were the one that created it, and I'm the only other person involved in this venture, and I obviously give approval, but that we can't do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to just stretch it or change a color. It might be something as simple as that I just, who knows? It really, when they flag it, they just say like it's copyright infringement. They don't like say, well, it was this thing at that time and that color. It's not enough info. It's really, really silly. But maybe Black Friday. Maybe I'll do a Black Friday sale. Maybe just a short window for all that. I don't know. But we'll hand out something. All right. Anything else with the people out there before we get out of here?
Thursday, quick turnaround. Get ready. Patriots, let's get the W. Go Pats.
Go Pats.
Little column A, little column B.